Alright, hello YouTube, it's Dinosaur D123 here. I'm going to give a small mechanics guide on how to properly use Northstar and how to use different abilities and mechanic chains together to improve your gameplay and help you in different scenarios. So first off, I'm going to be talking about how to properly use Viper thrusters. What most people don't realize is that you can get up to 4 times movement speed with these, and that's something that a lot of people struggle with because if they're not running Viper thrusters, they don't even realize it's possible. So basically, if you're holding still and you're not charging your shot and you move forward, you're going to move at 4 times movement speed with your railgun whenever you activate your hover. If you are charging your shot and walking forward, you're only going to get 2 times speed because you're not building momentum, and that's a problem. You're moving much slower than you should be, and we're going to show you how to fix that. So when you're charging your shots, if you want to build up 4 times movement speed, you can either, what I'm doing right here is a full or half circle rotation, and you do that while charging your shot, and you activate your hover when you're moving to the top left or top right corner, and it'll allow you to build that speed boost and keep the 4 times movement speed while charging a full charge shot. The other way that you can do that is if you dash in the direction you want to hover as soon as you activate it, or as soon as you activate hover, and that'll also give you the 4 times speed. So right there you'll get the 4 times speed boost again. So that's how you get 4 times movement speed, which will really help you when you're playing aggressive and wanting to either stay in someone's face, strafe around them, or get out of an engagement easier. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to air strafe. So you already know now how to do 4 times movement speed, but if you avoid moving in one direction for too long, you'll actually be able to keep that 4 times movement speed when turning. So basically you're going to go from, what you want to do with your left analog stick is you're going to be aiming it down, you're going to move it to the top left, and then like you're going to do a stim rotation where you're going a half circle from down to top left, back to top right, and then back to left again. So in the air you're going to be constantly swerving, that way you keep the 4 times movement speed while you're traveling. That way if you need to turn in a moment's notice to avoid damage, you can do so. Whereas otherwise, here's going to be the difference is I'm going to move forward, and then I'm going to try to turn, and when I'm turning I'm 2x movement speed instead of 4 times. So that as long as you avoid turning, or as long as you make sure you're constantly moving in a diagonal direction, you can keep building up that movement speed, which will help you to avoid damage. Alright, so... Alright, let me go ahead and get core real quick, Legion. Alright, next thing I'm going to show you real quick is how to double stack your hover. So basically what you do is you activate your hover ability, and then just as you start to descend, you'll activate your Flightcore, making it twice as high up in the air, making it where you can't be meleeed by Ronin or any other Titan, or as well as flame shield damage, because you're twice as high up in the air to avoid that melee damage, which is a really helpful mechanic, for example fighting sword core. So you'll activate your hover from 2 dashes away from Ronin as he's pushing you with sword core, strafe backwards, and then as you descend, right before he hits you, you activate your flight core, and so that's 7 or more seconds that you're going to be out of Ronin's sword core range and stall out his whole core to help you to counter that engagement. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to make it where you use your flight core on the ground or near the ground. That way, instead of trying to double your height and avoid melee, you're instead gonna use it, for example, on dry docks, so that you can use your core from the ground. I got my core now, I'm good. So, for example, this doorway, if you're out here and you try to hover through, you're gonna get stuck. That's a problem. If there's someone right here and you want to flight core through here, you can't do it because it's going to trap you right there. So what you do is you activate hover, and then as soon as you activate hover, you don't delay at all. You'll activate flight core, and it'll cancel your altitude boost and keep you on the floor. This is a really helpful mechanic for pushing those choke points, pushing those doorways, especially on complex and dry dock in the center of the map, or really anywhere on dry dock. That'll allow you to break through those engagements, which is normally not possible. So next is a really simple mechanic that most people probably know, is how to get your cluster off without wasting DPS, and you do so by shooting your railgun and instantly firing your cluster to animation cancel your railgun shot so that you can actually get your cluster off without delaying your charge time. Next thing we're going to work with is tether placement so that you can maximize punishment whenever you get someone in a trap. So I'm going to catch Legion in a trap right here, and I'm going to be right here around this corner. And so as soon as he walks into my trap, I'm going to dash forward, I'm going to power shot him, I'm going to double smoke and cluster as I dash past him, and then go for a second power shot. Alright, so go ahead, Legion. I'm always going to be about 2 dashes away when I do this. So I'll double stack hover, or I'll hover past him with double smoke, cluster, and 1 to 2 power shot. And that just costs him about 3 bars of instant damage with almost no risk of me taking any, because not only is he already worrying about my cluster, he's already taking damage from everything else, and he's trying to get out of that trap as quickly as possible because of all of the area of effect damage. So that's a really good use of tethers. You're always going to want to use them around corners, and you're going to want to use them about 2 dashes from where you plan to be stationary for the next few moments in case you have a chance to punish them for it. And then the last thing we're going to have to I'm going to be showing is how to avoid an Ion's vortex. So whenever an Ion, we'll just go ahead and eject and we'll do it next round. Hey Gold, welcome to the stream. How are you? I'm just doing a quick guide real quick on Northstar mechanics that will be up on YouTube later. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. So Ion's going to be trying to flick his vortex to avoid my shots, and whenever you turn a corner, Ion versus Northstar, Ion's always going to turn that corner with that vortex up, so you need to be unpredictable to win that engagement. Basically, every time you see the Ion, Ion's going to go for that defense, because 9 out of 10 Northstar players, as soon as they see that target, they have a full charge shot, they're going to take it in that first 2 seconds, and you're going to miss every time, and you will lose. What you have to be doing is you need to stop being predictable. You need to wait out. As long as you're sitting there looking with that full charge shot and you trap him in the open with a tether, that's multiple seconds where he's going to waste his vortex energy and he's going to have nowhere to go, and either he's going to drain out energy and then you're going to get a shot off, or he's going to be low on energy and give up on that engagement, back off, and then you double dash forward, you power shot him, and you hover away. So Ion, go ahead and try to make sure you're catching my shots. He's going to sit there trying to vortex me, and then he's going to run out of energy, and I have a free opportunity to hit him. Or they'll try to space it out where they'll just flick it over and over again and try to catch it that way. So he caught it that time. But there's about a half second in between vortexes where you have a free chance to hit him, and he only has so much energy, and he keeps trying to flick it, he's going to run out of energy, and then you have free reign to get as many hits as you want, and he's going to get punished for it. And that's going to be a really huge game changer when you get in that mentality of don't be predictable with your shots. Then he's going to waste more energy trying to flick you, because otherwise he's going to vortex just for the first 2 seconds and then shoot you or get free damage. And then he's going to have full energy to keep doing that, and you'll never win the fight that way. As long as you're unpredictable, you can win that fight, and it puts it in Northstar's favor. So that's going to cover this guide. If anybody has any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you later.